But if somebody will do for you something, they will think that they did that. The one thing that they did, that they deserve all the awards.
Is that now? Remember, it's now 2010.
Yes.
During the years you were in Salzburg, who were your friends?
Everybody.
And when you came to the States,
The same people.
survivors.
Whoever lived, survivors. They lived in New York. We were very close. But you know, take for instance Rose Kluge. Rose Kluge's husband. I mean, Mike was a guy. Any girl he would pick up, as long as she would talk to him. Whoever came across, he loved everyone. Until Rose Kluge came to the picture, she was after him all the time. Rose Kluge, she was, I don't know, I think she liked men, but she didn't care how he looked or what he is, as long as he was a man. And I have nothing in common with her. I feel she's an empty, selfish person for herself. I don't know if she ever picked up a book to read or she picked up a newspaper to read. All she's involved is if she could play tennis or she could swim. You know, she was self-sentenced. And even so, we were friends. They came to where we lived. We lived very nicely when we came to the States. We waited for a building to go up, and we took a brand new apartment in a building. My brother-in-law, us, and a friend. And they lived in mediocre places. I don't even know where the places were. But we were friends because we knew each other. Then Mike Kluge was from Krakow. My husband was from Krakow. He knew him from Salzburg. They became friends. So we continued the friendship until it came to a point that I said, enough is enough. I didn't care for her, so I don't have to associate. Family you cannot pick, but friends you could, right?
Right.
So that's how I felt about it.
Okay, now we're going to go back to the questionnaire and try. Some of these questions I might have asked you. I asked you about your family. I asked you where you were liberated from. Did you resist returning to your home?
Did I resist?
After you were liberated, did you resist?
I didn't resist because I had no place else to go, so I had to go.
You went home. You went home to find out whether you had family alive.
If somebody survived. And being that we couldn't go, you see, my problem was we were liberated by the Americans, but then the Russians took it over. And when I went out of camp looking for food or for whatever, I came across American soldiers. So they started talking to us Polish. So they were from a Polish background. So I said, if you are from Polish background, you have to go back to Poland. So you have no right to stay here because it's not your place. So I heard such opinions. This one told me that I don't belong here. And that one, so I said, our goal is not our goal. It's the only way to do it is to go back to Poland. And this is what made us go.
And that's how you formed your group?
And I formed 10 women and 5 men.
Okay.
I took the 5 men out of the war prisoners. And I don't have to tell you how much we loved the Poles.
Yeah.
But they were very nice. As a matter of fact, that one liked me, and I kept on promising him that I will stay with him the minute we come to Poland. He said, who's going to know that you are Jewish and I'm a Pole? We will build a white house near a sea, and we will have a happy life together. So I kept on promising. They were gentlemen, they never touched us. They protected us from the Russians. And that's how we traveled until we came to one place where I saw from a distance a train. I said to my sister and to a friend that I took her over as a camp sister, and I said, now is the time to run. And how could I run with a sick sister? So a schlepping her, but we made to the train. And we were sitting in the train, hiding from the pole. Until I didn't even know where the train is going. We were sitting there till it moved. And sure enough, we came to Katowice.
Now, what you left them with the horses that you stole?
I went down from the horses and I said, we are gonna go just for a walk. Maybe we could organize some food.
When you went to Austria and it had been divided up into zones, British, American, Russian, did they give you your choice of what zone to pick?
No.
They sent you right into the American?
They told us first of all, we went illegal, don't forget. This was all an illegal journey, the way we were going.
Right.
So we wanted to go to a country that they were not so strict. We tried to get to Italy, but we couldn't get to Italy. So so the train took us to Klagenfurt. Klagenfurt was the English zone. And I don't have to tell you, the English they knew they smelled the Jews out, and they wouldn't let us go to Israel. So where did they send us back? To Vienna. And in Vienna, when we came to Vienna, we had to go through the Donau. And the bridge was broken, there was no bridge. So they had wooden steps with spaces. Every space was like a meter. So imagine we were young girls, and that's how we had to climb to the other side of the Donau to get to the place where we were assigned. The place was Rothschild's castle, his place. And they kept the Jews there, with the Bricha. And the Bricha advised us how to go and where to go, because they were the leaders. So we stayed in Vienna a few days, and we ended out in Salzburg. And a coincidence, this I have to tell you, going from Vienna to Salzburg, in Auschwitz was one of the bunker capo, his name was Jakub Kosalczyk. He was a wrestler, he lived in France, but he was from the Russian part of Poland, from Białystok. He was a good-looking man. And whenever he saw a Frenchman, if he could kill him, he did it, because they were anti-Semites too. And the same as the Poles he did. He was in a bunker in Auschwitz, and if somebody came to his hand, if they had orders from the SS to kill them, he had to kill them. At one time, 3 people, 2 brothers, and they were very close to me, because their sister was my very good friend, and we were together. And we were together, she came to visit me in the ghetto, so she was taken from our ghetto to Birkenau. Anyway, why do I connect this? Because this is a story. And so that Jakub Kosalczyk was also in Vienna, and he was going to Salzburg with us. And he is telling me a story that he was the capo from the bunker. When he told me the capo from the bunker, I almost fainted. I was afraid to sit next to him, that he's going to kill me. He was still single that time. So he said, from where are you? I said, from Benjin. So he said, I saved 3 men. Who are the 3 men? Maniek and Zeb Londner and Jossel Rosensaft, the one from Bergen-Belsen, the head leader there. So I says, you saved them? He says, yes. They ran away from Auschwitz and they were caught. They brought them back to the bunker. When they came into the bunker, the next day he's supposed to kill them. So he said, listen, you go out and I will have the gun and I will shoot. I'm not going to kill you, I'm not going to shoot you, but you run. And they escaped. And he's telling me this story, and we are reaching by train to Linz. And as the train stopped, All of a sudden I hear a familiar voice. I look out the window. One of these boys that he's talking to me, that he saved, is outside. So I said, Manik, you have to come in, you have to identify somebody. He comes in to our compartment. And I said, you know what, this is Jakub Kozalczyk. He said that he saved your life. He said, yes, he did. And he started kissing him. So I said, Manik, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Germany. I want to kill the Germans. I heard that my sister's dead. I said, no, your two sisters are alive. They were liberated and I saw them on the way going back to Poland, and they are probably already in Poland. So, coincidence. Here you are meeting a murderer and he's telling me about somebody that he saved and he escaped from Auschwitz. And here he stands outside on the station.
So how did you feel once you heard this?
Well, he was with me in Salzburg in the DP camp.
The capo.
The capo, I respected him. But he came to Israel, and not that he was, they took him. I don't know if they put him to prison, but he was in court, he had to fight his freedom.
Did these three stand up for him?
I was in America,
Yeah.
I stand up for him in Israel. But imagine coincidence what happened. Stories, huh?
Yeah. That was amazing.
And then I met them, we were together in Poland, and his sister, who was my very best friend at home,
Which one?
not from Salzburg, because she was never in Salzburg, she was in Bergen-Belsen. So she was someplace in Germany, I don't know, and then she went to
who are you talking about now?
the sister of these two brothers. And she came with me to Auschwitz. And I helped her a lot during the war. I saved her from the Germans. And in camp, she was a pretty girl. She got involved with a man. I don't know the involvement, what kind of involvement they had, because, you know, the men were separated, we were separated.
So it had to be a German?
No, a Jew.
A Jew.
He had a job that he helped her. He helped her with food. We used to go to work, and I was starving. And she took the piece of bread and threw it to people to show off that she's giving it. She didn't ask me if I needed a slice of bread. And she knew that my sister was sick. And after the war, my sister said to me, if you will talk to her, I will deny you as a sister. How could you be still a friend of hers? And it took me a long, long time. The first time I was in Israel in 1953, she wrote me before that a big letter of 20 pages to Salzburg.
Saying what?
How she behaved and how wrong she was, to apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take the apology anymore. I came to Israel. She came to visit me. So she says to me, how come you were in Israel and you didn't even know to let me know that you are here? I said, do you deserve it? And her own sister said to me, if you will talk to my sister, you deserve the worst punishment. Okay? And I supported her. She was on my payroll. If not of me, she would starve. She would die from starvation in Israel. But I couldn't see her being hungry as a child. That's the way I supported a lot of people who came after the war to Israel and didn't have what to eat.
So whatever happened with were you ever friends?
Yeah, we became friends again. When there is a need, there's a need. She always kept on writing to me, and she lost her husband. When she lost her husband, I felt sorry for her. She went to Germany. She had a child from her first husband. She went back to Germany for the Wiedergutmachung, and she met a cousin of hers, who was the son of a Khan. She had 2 kids with him. He had a bordel or whatever, the kind of life they had in Germany. And the first time I went to visit, I was going back from Israel. My husband wouldn't step into Germany. He says, "You want to see her? Go and see her. I don't want to go there." So, and then we started again. Her youngest daughter had problems with her heart. So I arranged with Cooley, Dr. Cooley in Texas, the heart specialist, and got connection to him to operate on her. She stayed with me 4 months in New York, the whole family. But my son, who was a writer and who was a publisher, had a lot of book fairs in Germany. So once in a while he had to go there and came out for the holidays. No, not for the holidays, it was before Sukkot time. And he wouldn't eat any place because he was strictly kosher. And there was one time they had a lot of conventions that they didn't have any room in a hotel. And he couldn't stay in a hotel that he had far to walk to the place. So this was after my friend was dead already. So I called her, I called her up. I said, "Ronnie, Jackie has to stay one night because the next day he's leaving. He wants to be home before Sukkot." So she said, "Absolutely not." When I heard that absolutely not, I said, "How dare," and I hung up on it.
Let's take one break. I
Okay.